Hey guys. So today I am here to talk a little bit about acceptance. So, acceptance to me is probably one of the most important things you can learn if you're suffering. So, I have been writing a lot about heartbreak, and that's one area of suffering. There's many areas of suffering. But this one in particular, I think, is a big one for a lot of us. And the first thing that I tend to forget, and one of the biggest tools, is to accept where I'm at. So when I find myself stuck in my mind and reliving things that have happened and being upset about things that have happened, I find myself in this kind of spiral of feeling crappy and really just living up here, living in my head, and not living according to my soul, not living in my body. And when I'm in that space and I remember acceptance, then it liberates me. When I get to a place where I realize, okay, reliving in my head what happened, reliving the ways maybe I feel wronged, or the ways that even the happy moments, when I'm stuck in my head, I often realize that I'm not accepting what is. Because when we're stuck in our heads, we're either focused in the past or focused in the future, and we're not in the present moment. And living in the present moment is really about trust. It's about having deep faith in life that you're taken care of, that everything will be okay. And so when I find that I'm stuck in my head, I am not connected to the deeper part of myself. I'm not connected to my soul, my spirituality. I am fearful. I am reliving the things in the past because I need to make sense of them so that I don't ever have to go through this again in the future. And this is something that we all do because this is the habit of the mind. The mind is set up to protect us from anything bad happening to us. So if something bad happens, something painful happens to you, your mind is going to keep reliving it over and over and over again to try to make sense of it until you come to some kind of conclusion. And now you know it and you've got it. And so moving forward, you're never going to do these things again. You're never going to get yourself in that situation again because you never want to experience that kind of pain again. So it can be useful sometimes, but for most of us it ends up driving ourselves crazy. When I step back and I realize that I'm in my head and I'm reliving things that aren't actually serving me, it's not actually getting me anywhere, it's not solving anything, it's not making my life better, it's actually doing the opposite. And then I kind of surrender to myself, to the present moment. This is what's happening right now. I'm not in that relationship anymore. I'm a different person, having gone through the breakup that I went through. Everything is exactly as it needs to be. Even if it doesn't feel like that, even if it doesn't feel good, I realize that me not accepting the situation is actually part of what's creating my suffering. So this isn't to advocate for avoidance. So avoidance and acceptance aren't the same thing. So I think that there is a healthy processing that needs to happen in the beginning when we go through something traumatic. It's a natural kind of processing. The brain, the mind is trying to come to terms with what it is that happened. It's trying to understand things. And I think that that's healthy to a degree. I think that we kind of need to allow ourselves to do that a little bit. But at the same time, when we come back to ourselves and keep accepting what's happening, keep accepting what the truth is right now, and reminding ourselves that this is the new reality that we have to embrace and accept, it really helps shift us from the state of suffering to liberation. It may not feel necessarily liberating because you're going through pain, but as you start to experience the pain and you process it, over time you're going to get to a place where you're starting to experience the light. And so I know this to be true in my own life experience, and I'm sure you know it to be true in yours if you've ever experienced this. If you've ever gone through something and finally gotten to the point where you accept it and allow it, and you let go, and you move forward in your life. Whenever we move forward, there's always something better that comes. Every relationship that I look back on, they've gotten better and better and better. Every time I've been in a relationship and I look back on my ex, I feel to myself like that wasn't right, that wasn't meant for me. I'm exactly where I need to be right now. And so when we look at our life experience in this way, it gives us faith. It gives us faith that there's proof that my life is always getting better as long as I'm accepting and letting go. So if you're going through anything difficult right now, I would encourage you to look at your experience and see how much you're living in your head, and then ask yourself if you can just accept what's actually happening. What is the truth of the situation right now? And don't fantasize about things being different in the future. Don't hold on to something possibly happening that's going to change and relieve your pain that you're experiencing right now. Be with where you're at. Accepting it is a big part of what will relieve some of the pain, but there's still going to be pain if you're going through heartbreak or if you're suffering in some way. You have to kind of go through that pain. I'm a big advocate for feeling all the feelings and experiencing and being with the pain. But learning to accept and embrace the reality, the truth of what is, and also embrace and accept the truth that right now all possibilities exist, and all possibilities exist for your future. And so we're wired to believe that the past is the only way things happen. That's all we know. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, so we have to allow for new things to occur, better things to occur. So go ahead and focus on accepting the present moment, being with yourself. I have a couple of meditation audios over on my site to help you focus on the present. So you can head over to pushingbeauty.com if you're interested in that. It's great being with you guys today. I'll see you next time.